Hi, this is Pat Cleary, and I'm going to show you, the user of a risk management system, how to fill out these risk capture form files. I'll start with the second tab on here, Identify Analyze. If you're already familiar with risk management, then you're familiar with a risk capture form, and you should be familiar with some of these fields here, like where you capture your risk statement, your risk ID, put your name and date when you submitted it, and then other things like your risk scoring and your context. So a lot of this should already be familiar with you if you've already been practicing risk management. And this is where you fill out the common fields for your more familiar risk capture forms. Now, if you are planning to mitigate your risks, then you have to create a mitigation plan or a research plan. And you do that under the Plan Track tab. And then you add into here each of the events and then specify your success criteria and give estimates on the start and due date. And then we can track over time, when you give the actual completion date, our plan versus the actual progress we made against it. And for each step you add in there the scoring of the risk, the likelihood and consequence scores for each of the tasks in your plan. This risk capture form is designed so that the users should not be able to create errors by clicking on anything. Most of the fields are locked out except for those that you're able to fill out. So you should feel confident in filling out what you need to fill out. There's also the status log. Anytime you make changes or updates to the risk, you should fill out the status log. And to do this, you simply click Add Status Entry, and then it will automatically add the date. It will add the score, the trend, and the status. And when I say status, I mean, is it open, is it closed, did we accept it, where we specify that over here on the Identify Analyze tab. And that's automatically added. So all you have to do is add your name and then the details, the updates that you've made to the risk or developments that have happened related to it. And the last tab that the users fill out is the closure form. And this is where you state your closure rationale. You give any lessons learned that any important lessons that were learned associated with the risk and the date we closed it. We put the name of the submitter. Actually, that's automatically generated. And then the project manager enters their name. And this is how we close out the risk for each of the risk capture forms. And that's all you need to fill in if you are the user for the risk management system, where you're just regularly entering your risk information. And if you have any questions or you need any further guidance, I've added a guidance tab on here, and it gives some text about how to some information to guide you through. And if that isn't enough for you, there are YouTube video instruction, and you just need to click on the buttons here for getting video instruction, whether you're a user or a manager. And if that's still, if you just would like to be walked through the process, I've included on here a risk capture form wizard. And the wizard will, as I say, it'll walk you through the risk process. It'll guide you through filling in your risk statement and your context, guide you through scoring your risk, and then it can take you through, what approach you want to take. Do you need to escalate the risk? Are you gonna mitigate it? Are you gonna watch it, or will you accept it? What are you going to do with the risk? It will walk you through this so that you can fill out. And it's okay if you don't know everything, but this will walk you through the information that you do know, and then you can fill it out appropriately. And in this way, you could capture all the information you need using your risk capture form. Finally, not finally, I'm sorry. There is the risk scorecard. This risk capture form was designed to help meet Constellation's risk management program. And on here is the scorecard that explains how the definitions of the scores and what they mean. So when you're trying to quantify the meaning of your risk when you're giving it the scores, this will explain what those scores are going to mean for others when they see it. So refer to this when you're coming up with the scores for your risk. And finally, we have the administrative tab. If you're a regular user and you're just somebody who logs risk information as risks are for applicable risks to you, and you're not like a risk manager or a project manager, you don't need to be concerned with this tab. But if you are somebody who's recording risk and documenting and following and managing risk information, then this is of importance to you. And there are two important parts on here that you should be concerned with. One is that you need to specify the file path to the local file path for both of your risk files, your risk list file and your risk capture form. The other thing is, if you are the risk manager or someone managing the risk information, this will let you, from when the users fill out these risk capture forms and send them to you, you just have to click on this button and then it will automatically add all of the risk information that they've added to your risk list file. And in this way you can manage and track all of your risk information and all your risk records. And that, in summary, is the information and that's an overview of the risk capture form.